he decided that he was going to nationalize oil in Iran, and they got him out like that. They installed the Shah. The Shah quickly returned to take power and signed off over 40% of Iran's oil fields to U.S. companies. It's crazy, man. In 1953, the CIA and British intelligence orchestrated a coup d'etat that toppled the democratically elected government of Iran.
And keep in mind, for the last 47 years, Iran has been responsible for all the wars and terrorism in the Middle East.
Greatest military on the face of this earth. New video showing American aircraft obliterating target after target after target, including missile batteries, weapon systems, drones, government buildings, missile defense systems, so much more. Satellite images appear to show what is left of the Supreme Leader's palace, which is now a smoldering heap of rubble.
I believe there's an escalation ladder, and we have to climb pretty far up in the escalation ladder before Iran closes the Strait of Hormuz. Because if they were to do that, this would basically be World War III. It would draw in a lot of nations, and the consequences, it's not really contained anymore. It would be very unpredictable and unprecedented if Iran were to close off the Strait of Hormuz.
And all of these countries, you have Saudi Arabia and Iraq and Qatar, everybody who produces oil, puts it on a boat, and it has to go right past this little bend right here. So we have to talk about this because the strait is just a 2-mile wide. It's got a couple of 2-mile wide navigable channels, one for inbound, one for outbound. That's it. It's so narrow.
A blockade here would hit them hard as well. Globally, experts warn that oil prices could soar past $150 a barrel, causing widespread inflation and possibly triggering a major global recession. So this small 33-kilometer area holds enough power to shake the entire world.
This was never meant to be a fair fight, and it is not a fair fight. We are punching them while they're down, which is exactly how it should be. Death and destruction from the sky all day long.
And there's no reason why the miracle of the reestablishment of the temple on the Temple Mount is not possible.
The war is a growing regional conflict as other Middle Eastern countries are being attacked.
They've hit UAE, they've hit Saudi Arabia, they've hit Oman. They were helping us negotiate. They got hit. Everybody got hit.
Iran also struck the Kurdish region of Iraq, Jordan, Bahrain, Kuwait, and Cyprus.
But why is that? I thought our defenses were the U.S. defenses were so strong.
Because Israel's more important than the American clients in the Persian Gulf.
You're saying that, like, the sophisticated Patriot, for example, are not here, they're there.
Today we will discover in Bible prophecy that God has an Operation Fury. He has planned for Iran and Russia in the near future. Stay tuned.
The man who promised the American people that he would stop America's stupid, that's his word, perpetual regime change wars, lied to us. The American people, especially America's evangelicals, need to awaken to the reality that our politicians in Washington do not represent us, the American people. They represent the Zionist government in Israel.
The reason for this war. America does not want to fight this war for Israel.
Let's go. Come on, let's go.
America does not want to send its sons and daughters to war for Israel.
Nobody wants this war.
No.
Absolutely no one thinks that this is a good idea. And the reason why they don't want it is because they know what it's actually about.
Right.
This is a war that's being pushed by Benjamin Netanyahu.
Yeah.
He's been trying to make this war happen for almost 30 years.
It's not true. They don't have a nuclear weapon. And I have one question.
Thank goodness they don't. And
does
I think it's
Israel
a good
have
idea
nuclear weapons?
Listen, the United States and Israel are ironclad partners. We need them in the Middle East. We need them to be strong. We have a biblical responsibility to them as well.
With an Israeli flag outside his office. So,
Kevin Kramer.
For Senator Kevin Kramer, what the F? Are you representing the interests of the U.S., where the vast majority of the American public don't want a war with Iran, or you're representing Israel because we have a biblical obligation?
España, como saben, no tiene bombas nucleares, tampoco tiene portaaviones ni grandes reservas de petróleo, Nosotros solos no podemos detener la ofensiva israelí, pero eso no significa que no vayamos a dejar de intentarlo, porque hay causas por las que merece la pena luchar.
Hoy, no a la guerra es cerrar inmediatamente las bases de Rota y de Morón. Es impedir que España siga siendo cómplice de esas intervenciones militares ilegales que está lanzando Estados Unidos en todo el mundo.
And now Spain actually said that we can't use their bases, and that's all right. We could use their base if we want. We could just fly in and use it. Nobody's going to tell us not to use it.
With respect to Spain, I think they heard the president's message yesterday loud and clear. And it's my understanding over the past several hours they've agreed to cooperate with the U.S. military.
La portavoz de la Casa Blanca acaba de decir que España ha acordado cooperar con el ejército de Estados Unidos. ¿Esto es verdad?
Lo desmiento tajantemente.
¿La portavoz de la Casa Blanca está mintiendo?
Será la portavoz de la Casa Blanca, pero yo soy el ministro de Asuntos Exteriores del Gobierno de España y le digo que nuestra posición sobre el uso de las bases, sobre la guerra en Oriente Medio, sobre los bombardeos en relación a Irán, no ha cambiado en absoluto.
You're right now not in a very good position. You're gambling with the lives of millions of people. You're gambling with World War III. You're gambling with World War III. For the American people to see what's going on. World War III has never been closer than it is right now. Speaking of World War III, I'll keep you out of World War III. World War III will not happen. I'm the only one can say it won't happen. I will prevent, and very easily, World War III, very easily. They said, he will start a war. I'm not going to start a war. I'm going to stop wars. We need to clean house of all of the warmongers and neocons to wage endless wars, these wars that never end. Globalist neocon establishment that is perpetually dragging us into endless wars. Endless wars. Stupid, senseless, endless wars. A stop to the endless wars. Great nations do not fight endless wars. Is going to drag us into World War III.
Mai la guerra è santa, solo la pace è santa, perché è voluta da Dio.
We're going to blow the hell out of these people. I'm not for hurting anyone that's innocent. But anybody that supports terrorism is not innocent. You understand that?
Near the all-girls school, you can see how close they are. It's 168 children.
These are the graves for the children being dug.
That was done by Iran.
Is that true, Mr. Hegson? It was Iran who did that?
We're certainly investigating.
Still investigating.
But the only side that targets civilians is Iran.
They are among the most evil people ever on earth.
They do not need their long-range ballistic missiles. They can use shorter-range ballistic missiles, and that's the same for traveling the Strait of Hormuz.
You want oil to live above 60 but below 90. And don't get me wrong, we're still printing money at 90, but gas gets up over $3.50 a gallon, it starts to pinch. Every product in America has to readjust its price.
World War II.
War.
Correct. The Vietnam War.
War.
Oh, I'm sorry, Carl. That was a congressionally authorized counteroffensive. Don't worry, we get right back on track with the Korean War.
War.
No, that was police action.
No, they had tanks and stuff.
Well, the police have tanks now, don't they, Carl? Okay, the First and Second Iraq War.
War.
I'm sorry, that was kinetic action. Iran.
It's a war. We're doing war things.
No, not war things. Preemptive retaliatory de-escalation action. War on poverty, Carl.
Well, poverty? That's not even a thing.
I'm sorry, I hate to do this to you. It was a trick question. We don't have poverty in the United States. The Dow went up to 50,000. Couldn't even get that high. Amazing. Don't even worry about the Epstein file.
Oh, God. Okay, guys, we got to get off the...
We have to go. Okay. Inside now.
Coming.
Wow, 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 wow! וואו! הכל נופל לנבטים, אני אומר לך מתקפה אחת החזקות. יואו!
So it's a punch card. Today I raised 2 names on the punch cards, and you see how many more to go.
Further rocket attacks were reported against Nahariya and admitted.
But the fact is now Bibi and the Israeli hard right government has a mandate. I got to be careful the way I say this. They're going to try to ethnically cleanse Gaza. Yep. I mean that's and I don't use that term lightly.
להעיף אותם, להשמיד אותם עד האחרון בהם.
את מי להשמיד? את
כן, את הפלסטינאים, את כולם אויב שם. הילד שנולד שם אתמול ברפיח.
הוא אויב?
ברור.
Does Israel have the right to that land? Because you're appealing to Genesis. Yeah. You're saying that's the original deed.
It would be fine if they took it all.
Israel is not seeking, to be protected. They are possessed of this Zionist lie that they are entitled to control the land from the Nile to the Euphrates.
You don't sell arms, according to American law, to countries that violate international law and human rights. Clearly, Israel has done that. Netanyahu, who for 40 years has wanted a war with Iran, finally got a president to go along with him, started this war, and it's not only the horror that's taking place in Iran right now, something like 15%, a million people in Lebanon have been displaced.
Netanyahu'nun Hizbullah'la mücadele bahanesiyle yeni bir soykırıma yönelmesinden açıkçası endişe duyuyoruz.
Israel is ethnically cleansing Lebanon. In addition to the forced displacement notice in Sur, the Israeli army has also again issued a forced displacement notice for the entire area of South Lebanon, so everything south of the Litani. Forced displacement is a war crime.
Well, you're lying, of course, and you're producing propaganda, and I think increasingly Western media is just propaganda.
The CIA doesn't kill anybody anymore. They neutralize people, or they depopulate the area. The government doesn't lie, it engages in disinformation. Israeli murderers are called commandos. Arab commandos are called terrorists. Contra killers are called freedom fighters.
You're not merely attacking US assets, you're also attacking a gas field in Qatar and other Gulf neighbors. I just wonder why.
Tell me, who started this war in the first place? And who started attacking our gas field, South Pars field? It was Israel and Americans that attacked our gas field, our energy infrastructure in the first place. Those military bases, those assets, those installations that are being used by Americans to conduct their military aggressions against Iran are legitimate targets under international law. If Iran's infrastructure is attacked, we would have to retaliate in self-defense against any infrastructure that is shared by the United States.
And it's very cool.
Oh my gosh.
Isn't that great? Just went up yesterday.
Wow.
This is war.
We're not at war.
War is hell.
This isn't a war.
Mr. President, you've said the war is, quote, very complete, but your defense secretary says this is just the beginning. So which is it?
Well, I think you could say it both.
You just said it is a little excursion, and you said it is a war. So which one is it?
Well, it's both. It's both. It's an excursion that will keep us out of a war. Remember, I'm the president of peace.
Peace and war, are they really so different?
We as Muslims stand with President Trump because he promises peace. He promises peace, not war.
The Navy is gone. The Navy is gone. So they have no Air Force. They don't have an Air Force. Their anti-aircraft equipment is gone. Their anti-aircraft equipment. They have no radar. Their radar is entirely gone. Their radar is gone. We settled 8 wars. People sort of forget. And we're winning another one, I tell you. We're winning so big, nobody's ever seen anything like we're doing in the Middle East with Iran. And they are negotiating, by the way, and they want to make a deal so badly, but they're afraid to say it because they figure they'll be killed by their own people. They're also afraid they'll be killed by us. The Iranian regime is now admitting to itself that they have been decisively defeated. They're saying to people, this is a disaster. They know it. That's why they're talking to us. They wouldn't talk otherwise. But they're talking to us because they've got a disaster in their hands. They're defeated. They can't make a comeback. We're free to roam over their cities and towns and destroy all of their crazy nuclear weapons and missiles.
But if Iran fails to accept the reality of the current moment, if they fail to understand that they have been defeated militarily and will continue to be, President Trump will ensure they are hit harder than they have ever been hit before. Any violence beyond this point will be because the Iranian regime refused to understand they have already been defeated and refused to come to a deal.
This is not chaos. This is success, pure American success, on plan, and as the president said, ahead of pace. Over 10,000 enemy targets destroyed, over 140, I think now you're right, Mr. President, over 150 naval vessels sunk.
Where we are right now is the east of Tehran, and the authorities say there was a massive airstrike that hit a residential building.
They see the footage, they know the kids are starving, they agree with it. And I'm talking to people from all walks of life. Every single person espoused genocidal rhetoric. Kill them all, bomb them all, drop a big nuke, expel them. We don't want them here. I was floored.
I don't think there's any answer to it. Really? There's only one way, I would carpet bomb them.
You would carpet bomb them?
It's the only way you could deal with it.
גם אם המחיר האגבי הוא ילדים או נשים או לא מעניין אותי. ובג'נין אין אזרחים חפים מפשע. בג'נין אין ילדים תמימים.
How can you support the slaying of innocent women and children? They just killed this woman while she was holding her baby's hand, bro.
I'm sick and tired of the anti-Semitism. It has to stop.
I agree. Hate against Jews is wrong, but so is the killing of thousands of Palestinian children. And I don't remember seeing this level of emotion for them.
The most shocking and distressing thing I've seen in my lifetime, and I've gone through 18 wars and 3 genocides. What we're doing is creating double standards. If a bomb falls on a hospital in Ukraine, Ursula von der Leyen says it's a war crime, and 6 people are killed. If many bombs fall in Gaza, and hundreds of people are killed overnight, well, that's Israel's right to defend themselves.
أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله. أشهد أن لا إله إلا الله.
About Israel torturing a 10-month-old baby to get information out of his dad. There will come a day when people are going to look back on this and everything that's happening and everything that has happened, and people are gonna be like, what the fuck were you guys doing? Like, how did you let this happen?
Jawad is a 2-year-old from Gaza. Doctors believe these burns have been caused by cigarettes and the wounds on his legs from a sharp object. His family says there was blood on his clothes.
Whatever the president ultimately decides about a ground operation in Iran, all the pieces are now in the region to carry one out.
The result could be a grinding war of attrition. They talk about how far away they would be from resupply.
I'm sort of tired of all this armchair quarterbacking. This has been an amazing military operation. God bless the fallen. We got 2 Marine expeditionary units sailing to this island. We did Iwo Jima. We can do this. The day we control that island, this regime, this terrorist regime, has been weakened. It will die in a van. I want to sprint to peace. As the war winds down, I want peace to ramp up.
In essence, we are jiu-jitsuing the Iranians. We're using their own oil against them.
Stand with me, with Israel, with our ally.
There is no Palestinian state, no matter how many papers they put out.
Our prayer is that America will always stand with Israel.
Our cooperation
with Israel.
It is up to Israel, and we should support our allies wherever they are when they're fighting the bad guys.
Israel is our greatest ally.
Reinforcements are on the way.
And he loves Israel too.
It's true.
Iran, the mother lode, third largest oil reserve in the world. 40% of the world's oil goes right through here, the Strait of Hormuz. Control Iran, control Eurasia, control the world. Empire.
We will be in a forever war everywhere, 3-4 wars at a time. That's not New World Order. It's a world gone mad.
The Pentagon now considering a deployment of an additional 10,000 troops to the Middle East.
Reports indicate the United States is preparing for a possible weeks-long ground operation in Iran that would include thousands of U.S. service members.
Breaking news, Trump reportedly considering an invasion of Larak Island, which lies in the narrowest part of the Strait of Hormuz and is key to Iran's control of the strait.
Bring in the Marine Expeditionary Units. This is the kind of thing that they do.
Let's stop saying boots on the ground. Let's call them combat troops. Young men and women of the United States of America, combat troops, inserted into the Persian Gulf or maybe even the mainland of Persia.
But why would we need troops on the ground? Well, there's a lot of reasons, and we wouldn't need 300,000 of them. It's this uranium, too. We've got to get the uranium.
And my prediction here is that everything that the media is now going to say about Iran's going to close the Strait of Hormuz and energy prices are going to go crazy and all these, none of this is going to come to pass. That isn't to say there won't be a little bumps here and there in the market, and it's not to say one random thing, bad thing might happen to a ship or something like that. But Iran has basically, their military has basically been decimated. So they can keep doing PR stunts and having the second general of the 4th Command of the 3rd Wing of the Iranian Army show up on MSNBC. They can keep do that and make his threats and say, we're going to let things through if we like you and not if we don't. But it just is utterly irrelevant. We are the sheriff.
President Trump does not have agency. He's not in charge. If you look at what we're financing in Gaza, that's a Holocaust. Trump doesn't have the power to say no to a whole bunch of things that the MAGA group want him to say no to.
Words with venom, words that bind. Words used like weapons to cloud my mind.
Maximum lethality, not tepid legality. Violent effect, not politically correct.